the month that I got fired, they raised it.
You've got to get a job. I don't care if you wash dishes until you find the job you want. You got to do something because you have to pay your child support. You can't quit a job until you get a new job.
I was actually terminated. I did not quit a job.
There's a monthly charge of $3,145. He has an arrearage now of $42,000.
He actually just decided to up and quit his job. I now had to pick up a second job, and after getting remarried, I had my husband has all of our kids on their insurance or on his insurance now since.
You have a lot of money to pay back in child support.
As of today, he owes $26,911.20.
That's your arrearage, but you still have a monthly charge, right? Yeah. So you're going to have to pay your monthly charge and then be paying on this arrearage. So you need two jobs. And I have seen people pay this off. I have seen people like do like 3 years of no spending. You know what I mean? They're not buying concert tickets and new things. They're just like shopping at Goodwill and paying all their money towards this. I've seen people do that. Maggie Marie Phillips versus Robert Lee Phillips. So Mr. Phillips, we're here on a show cause. We were last here on August 19th of 24, and you appeared without your attorney, Mr. Raines. So Mr. Raines doesn't represent you on this, right?
Right.
Okay. And you were to pick up a list of employers that are hiring from the FOC, which you did do, and have proof of employment by the state. We haven't heard from you. So do you have employment?
I actually I'm searching for other employment, but I do currently work for a friend of mine.
Okay. Are you getting paid?
Yes.
Okay. And your monthly amount you're ordered to pay on this is $540. So have you paid anything?
I have not. I kind of wanted to like kind of try to figure out why it's so high, because the month that I got fired, they raised it.
Okay. So your friend of the court is set your child support. You have a hearing on it, and it's set on your earned income. If you get fired, it'll be whatever your last employment is. It doesn't go to zero just because you get fired.
Yeah.
So Mr. Phillips, you know, you've got to get a job. I don't care if you wash dishes until you find the job you want. You got to do something because you have to pay your child support. You're just a couple thousand shy of a felony.
Yeah, that's what I'm doing right now. That's why the job.
So, you know, you can go through different organizations, put applications in, take whatever.
It's not an excuse, but I have been looking for work pretty, I don't want to say like aggressively, but like probably 3 or 4 applications a day. But
okay.
Because of everything going on with the state of Michigan, I feel like I've got a bad reference.
What's going on with the state of Michigan?
I don't know if I'm allowed to talk about it, but long story short, it was, I don't exactly know what I'm allowed to talk about.
Do you have current charges?
Yes.
Okay. So you have pending charges in district court?
No, not legal charges. Employment charges.
Oh, okay. So something to do with getting unemployment?
Not exactly. From my last employer.
Okay. So I don't know that that would really impact employment, but like I said, you can bus tables, wash dishes, you can stock shelves. There's a lot of stuff you can do.
Yeah, that's why I picked up working for my buddy. It's, you know, probably, it's not much, but you know, it's $100 to $300, you know, a week anyway.
Okay. But you know, you got to pay on this.
Yeah, I still don't understand why it went up when I got fired though, because it was, I don't remember exactly.
How long ago was that?
August last year.
Okay. I don't know, but you can petition for an income review or a friendly court hearing on it. Okay. And have it reconsidered. You can always do that.
All that stuff on my own on account of trying to save legal fees.
Well, having an income review doesn't, you can probably get an income fee waiver if you're not making that much money. And then it's just a review, you pay for it. And if you get a waiver, you don't have to pay for it. All right.
And I don't know if it holds any bearing, but I did secure a home for me and my son.
Good.
It's a 5-bedroom home.
Good. So, all right, so you're gonna make a payment this week?
What's-
You said you're making 200 a week at least.
what's-
Friday's the
It'll be
4th.
within- So it'll be within the first couple of weeks of next month.
He
Or
doesn't
people
pay you
that are
every
after the
week?
First. I get paid every day, but it's usually, like $30 here, 40, 50, $60 there. And then once in a while, I'll get, like a $200 day.
Okay, so you gotta pay him this. So
Yeah,
I don't know
that's
how
what I'm
you,
saying. I'll pay it, within the second week of the month. So I'll make a payment.
so if you're making $50 a day, you can put $50 a week down at the very least, or 100.
Yeah, I just don't know what I'll have. I'm saying I can what's that word? I can commit to couple $100 every couple of weeks, but I don't know when I'll have the money, so I can't give you like a day. I
Okay,
just need like a little leeway, like a week or so.
okay. Well, I'm gonna set this over to October 28th and we'll see where you are on that day. So, and you gotta pay something by then, all right?
I will. Is
And
there
if
any
you
way
need
that-
an income review, go down in front of the court, and request an income review.
Right after this. Is
Yeah.
there any way that we can do like an afternoon for the hearing? I don't know if that's possible, but
Miss Adams, do I have an afternoon I could do one of these on? Like towards the end of the month? I don't know if one of our pre-trials on a Monday fell out.
I'm sorry, Judge, I was on the phone. I apologize.
Looking for like at the end of the month, see if a Monday afternoon pre-trial fell out, or I could set Mr. Roberts over so he doesn't miss any work.
End of October?
Like October 28th. Late in the afternoon.
We do have 3:20 available.
that'd be awesome.
What time? 3:20?
Yep, 3:20 and later is open.
All right, so October 28th at 3:20, okay? All right, I'm gonna write it down for you, Mr. Phillips,
I'll get back out tomorrow and I'll put it in my phone or the calendar.
and we'll see you back on that day, and you have made a payment, all right?
All right, thank you.
All right, thank you. Kayla Taylor Parkhurst versus Blake Edward Rinky. Mr. Rinky, we are here for a friend of the court show cause, says you're supposed to pay $242 a month in child support. You have an arrearage of $4,050.91. We were receiving payments due an income withholding from May until September. And we received notice from Irvin Amisteel that you quit your job on September 17th. You're only about shy of $40 for the current a month obligation. So Mr. Rinky, have you gained new employment?
I'm supposed to have an interview sometime today. Is at 1 o'clock today.
You're supposed to have an interview today at 1 o'clock?
Yes.
Okay, and can you pay the balance you owe of $40 for September?
I cannot. I was actually hoping to have a new job by now, to be honest with you, Your Honor.
Okay, so Mr. Rinky, where's your interview? Okay, so Mr. Rinky, you can't quit a job until you get a new job.
I was actually terminated. I did not quit a job.
Are you did you sign up for unemployment?
No, I did not. I wasn't there long enough to acquire unemployment.
Okay, all right, so Mr. Rinky, I'm gonna set this over to October 28th, only because you've been making payments up to this point. But when we come back, as soon as you get a job, you need to let Ms. Stevenson know, and we can start doing the income withholding. But remember, until it comes out of the check, you gotta make that portion of the payment. Do you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, October 28th. We'll see you back on that day. Thank you.
Thank you. You have a great day.
Ms. Buer, the last time we were here, you were ordered to make a couple payments, and then pay $108.33 a month until your arrearage is paid in full. You made a 300 payment in March and a 241 in May. We were last here in July and I ordered you to make regular monthly payments and we adjourned to September 9. And it got adjourned till today for some reason. We have not received any payments. So are you able to make a payment today?
I have $70 today.
Are
I'm
you working, Miss Beer?
no, I filed for disability. I do know the amount I'm gonna get monthly. I'm at the tail end
All
of
right,
it.
Miss Beer, did you get paperwork from disability?
Yes, I give a piece of paper to Miss Michelle.
Yeah, she did give me some
Senkowitz?
paperwork, Your Honor.
So Miss Senkowitz, do we have any verification? Is she getting SSI or SSD?
No verification. What she gave me was a doctor's appointment note, which is needed for her SSI determination, saying that
All
she
right,
had the
so
appointment.
Miss Beer, you've been approved or you're just in the process?
I have been approved. I've got the amount that I'm gonna get monthly.
All right, Miss
it's gonna-
Beer, today, I want a letter from your attorney or somebody
I-
verifying you're receiving it.
No, I haven't received nothing yet. It should be
Oh.
7 to 21 days, they told me. On October 2nd, I went to the Social Security place to go over the last paperwork and to sign a paper that I hadn't signed before.
So you haven't even been approved. They've just estimated what you could receive if you were approved.
Yeah, I mean,
Okay.
but I
And since
I
they
got
typically
the
deny
green
it,
card.
you're probably not going to get approved right away. So Ms. Beer, I want you to come to the courthouse today and make your $70 payment. And then I'm going
Okay.
to set this out 1 month for you to bring in person all your paperwork, okay?
Okay, I have a lot of paperwork with me
You need to
today.
bring
I
it
can
all.
Yep.
So I'm going to set this out to November 4, just a couple weeks. And I need you to come make a payment today. And then I need you to provide all your paperwork to Ms. Senkowitz so she can verify what in fact is going on. Because if you haven't even had a hearing yet, they typically will deny the first time anyway. So, all right, so Ms. Beer, we'll see you back on November 4. And as I said, hold on, let me see if this is Ms. Mosier. She usually calls in. All right, so Ms. Beer, November 4, I want you to bring in your $70 payment today. And then I need you to get Ms. Senkowitz all your paperwork, okay?
Okay.
All right, thank you. And November 4 will be in person, okay? So Ms. Senkowitz, the notice will say that, right? All right, in person, Ms. Beer, thank you. So, Mr. Neese, you are ordered to pay $180 a month, which really is a lot of money. And you have an arrearage of $16,445.70. The last payment we received was $40 back on December 6th of 2017. So a couple things, Mr. Neese. Do you understand it's a crime to fail to pay child support to the very best of your ability up to the amount ordered?
Yes, ma'am.
Do you understand you have 2 prior contempts? So if I were to find you guilty of failure to pay, you could be facing up to 90 days in jail. Do you understand that?
Yes, ma'am.
Are you currently employed?
Not currently. I'm currently on the process of getting my disability for multiple reasons. My health has really went downhill within the past few years, but I am in the process of getting my disability and getting that taken care of and whatnot. I am trying my best. I have also been homeless for the past 2.5 years. And it's been really tough for me to find any like resources to get a job or get to a job and whatnot. But I am in the process of getting my disability as we speak, ma'am.
Okay. Are you living still in Adrian?
I'm at my sister's house in Adrian. Yes, ma'am. I just got here not even, I'd say a couple months ago. It's just been really tough.
Do you have paperwork from the Social Security Administration?
I do not currently because it just had started and whatnot. I haven't received anything from them yet.
So when you say you started it, does it mean you thought about it or you've actually gone to see an attorney?
I haven't gone to see an attorney yet because I haven't had any way, but I've got that all set up where I can have transportation to see an attorney for
So
my
you've not done
disability.
anything yet to receive Social Security?
Not yet, but like I have been in the process of doing it, and like I said, trying to
Okay, so
find a way.
Mr. Neese, have you filled out paperwork? Have you gone to a doctor's appointment? Like, are you thinking about it or did you actually start the process?
I have started the process. I have called and stuff and whatnot, and it's just been really tough to get through to them, but I have
So you haven't done
gone through the
anything, you
process.
just tried calling them and you haven't filled out paperwork or anything.
Not quite yet, but that's happening this week though.
So you're gonna go fill out paperwork this week, but you haven't yet.
Yes, ma'am, I am.
So you've not, okay. Do you understand the majority of people are denied Social Security disability the first time?
Yes, ma'am, I do.
Okay, and how many kids do you have?
I have two.
Okay, all right. When's the last time you held a job?
It's been I can't give you exact date, but it's been a while. But what I'm doing now is I'm babysitting for my sister so that way I can earn money to like for my everyday needs, like my personal needs, like hygiene and all that. It's not a
Okay.
lot, but that's what I'm doing, ma'am.
Okay. All right, Mr. Anderson, you're his caseworker. All right. Do you understand, sir, you are at the level where the Attorney General's office in the state of Michigan can charge you with a 4-year felony, and you could be facing up to 4 years in prison for failure to pay child support?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. All right. So, Mr. Neese, you do have a right to have an attorney represent you at this and all subsequent hearings. If you can't afford to hire one, we can appoint one at public expense. Would you like an attorney appointed to represent you?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so I am going to put you in the waiting room, and when we get Miss Underwood, I'll bring you back in, okay?
Yes, ma'am.
This is the date and time set for a show cause. Carlissa Frederick was ordered to appear. She's failed to do so. Miss Frederick is ordered to pay $258 a month in child support. As of today's date, she has an arrearage of $5,132.44. She was last here on September 9th. She was required to provide the EIN for a current employer to get an income withholding. She never complied with that. She did make a $29 payment on her own behalf. So I'm going to issue a bench warrant for her arrest. I'm gonna set bond in the amount of $2,500 cash. All right, Mr. Price, thank you. You have a good day. And Mr. Wood was ordered to appear. He's failed to do so. There's a monthly charge of $3,145. He has an arrearage now of $42,208.25. We've not received a payment since January of 24. We've adjourned this a couple times. He has failed to appear, so I'm going to issue a bench warrant for failure to appear. And so, ma'am, he's not a lineman, is he?
No, so he was working for DTE Energy, and he actually just decided to up and quit his job.
Oh, okay. Right.
So I now had to pick up a second job, and after getting remarried, I had my husband has all of our kids on their insurance or on his insurance now since.
Okay. Well, I'm going to issue a bench warrant and set bond in the amount of $20,000. Ms. Senkowitz or Mr. Anderson, I want this matter referred to the Attorney General's office if we can for a felony. All right.
Okay.
All
Absolutely.
right.
Thank
So
Okay.
thank you, Ms. Nimogene. You have a good day.
Thank you too.
So, Mr. Sobolski, we were here, well, we've been coming back for a while. So we have an income withholding in place for Good Life Tattoo, but you're not paid as an employer, or are you 1099?
I'm 1099 now this year. I'm gonna switch back though. This is not working out for me.
Okay, So you're gonna switch back to being an employee where they take taxes out?
Yeah, I have that option to do either one, so.
Okay, yeah, I always find personally it's better to just have other people take care of it than be responsible myself. So, all right, so we haven't received a payment since September 5. And back in January, we ordered an extra $50 a month for an arrearage. We only received 302 in September, and the last payment received from the employer at all was the September 5 payment.
That should not be correct. I've been working every week since then, and actually last week on Wednesday, I just made a $500 payment.
Does that show, Ms. Stevenson? When we print this off, it might not have showed because it takes about 72 hours for it to show up in our system.
It does, Your Honor. It looks like there was a $500 payment made on October 2nd, and we received 4 checks from the employer on the 3rd. So it was all after the court was.
So everything showed up at the list. Okay. All right. So Mr. Sobolski, I'm going to adjourn this out to like on December 16th and make your minimum payment plus at least extra on the rear. Okay. All right. Thank you. So Mr. Ingraham, you are ordered to pay $579 a month in child support. As of today's date, we have an arrearage of $8,839.09. The last payment we received was a tax intercept back on April 3rd of 24 in the amount of $711. We have not received a voluntary payment on this case since November of 2023. You filed for a support review back in March. It looks like they mailed out a notice of no change. And Mr. Ingraham, your arrearage is now at the point where the Attorney General's office could charge you with a 4-year felony, which means the maximum penalty you could be facing could be up to 4 years in prison. So Mr. Ingraham, this is your first contempt. So if you were to plead guilty or be found guilty of this contempt, you could be facing up to 45 days in jail. On a second contempt, you could face up to 90 days in jail. So Mr. Ingraham, would you like an attorney appointed to represent you?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so Mr. Ingraham, we will appoint an attorney to represent you. I'm gonna let the attorney know, and we'll get that mailed out to, or emailed out to her. So I'm gonna put you guys in the waiting room.
Your Honor, Mr. Ingraham is going to, I believe, start working at Metal Technologies in Auburn, Indiana. He should start training within the next couple weeks. That would be a 3rd shift factory job. I would ask that we put this out for 2 to 3 weeks, give Mr. Ingraham the time to finalize that and to get the information to the friend of the court, and then he can start working, get payments done through income withholding, Your Honor.
Mr. Ingraham, a couple things. You need to have full-time employment. You need to support your children.
Yes, ma'am.
When you start working, check your paycheck every week or bi-weekly. And if they did not take the payment out, you need to make the payment.
To make, yes,
and until
ma'am.
they start taking it out, you make the payment. But you need to pay extra because you need to pay down your arrearage, which frankly, in 2 months will be at the felony level. Do you understand that?
Yes, Your Honor, I do.
So $100 extra every single month towards your arrearage is required. I'm going to give you an opportunity. I'm going to adjourn this to November 18 just to monitor that. And then, but Mr. Ingraham, if you aren't making payments, I am going to make you come in person. And if you don't, then I will issue a bench warrant. Do you understand that?
Yes, ma'am.
So bare minimum, you're ordered to pay $579 a month, which comes down to about $158 a week with $50 extra per month. But you should pay a little bit more if you can. So that's $157 a week or $158 a week that you need to pay if they don't take it out of your check. All right.
Yes, ma'am.
And what is that date, Your Honor?
November 18 at 8 a.m. Yep.
Okay.
Thank you.
All right, we are here today on a paternity arraignment.
Okay.
I do have the summons in the file along with the proof of service. So, Mr. Bruggeman, you may proceed.
Your Honor, as you indicated, this is the date and time set for Mr. Olinger's attorney arraignment. At this point, he can choose one of two options. First one would be to request genetic testing. At that point, we would prepare an order for you to sign to order those genetic tests, or he could take sworn testimony indicating that he is the father and willing to sign the affidavit of parentage.
So, Mr. Olinger, do you understand you have two options? You can request a DNA test done, or you can acknowledge paternity. How would you like to proceed today?
I'm going to acknowledge paternity. That's my child.
Okay.
And Mr. Olinger, there was a child born, Raylyn Destiny Hope Harmon, on August 28th, 2021, to the mother, Melissa Nicole Harmon. Are you indicating that that daughter is, or that child is your
Yep.
biological child?
Yes, sir.
Okay. And the date of the birth for that child was the date of the birth of the child. Do you know that when that was?
8/28/21.
And you upon presentation, you would sign an affidavit of parentage indicating that that child is your biological child?
Yes.
And you understand that document would have to be signed and notarized?
Yes.
And then once it's signed and notarized, we'd send it into the state of Michigan for recording? Yes. And that would be the equivalent of you signing the birth certificate at the hospital. You understand that?
Yes.
Okay. I have no further questions, Your Honor.
All right, very good. So thank you, Mr. Olinger, and he'll expect that paperwork. Does he need to come to your office?
We need him to sign that affidavit of parentage, and like I said, it does need to be notarized. So at some point, we either need him to come to our office, or it needs to be signed in front of a notary in some fashion.
Okay.
So, Mr. Olinger, does your work schedule allow you to stop by Mr. Bruggeman's office?
Today I work 9 to 2, so I can do it like right before, or I can do it right after.
Okay, so, Mr. Bruggeman, what would be your preference?
We are here both of those times, either before 9 o'clock if he wanted to come right now, or if he wanted to wait until after he's done with work and come at before, as long as it's before 4:30, he can come here.
Okay.
And do you know where his office is? It's the Red Fire Station on Church.
Yep, I know where it is.
All right, excellent. So thank you very much, Mr. Olinger. You have a good day.
All right, you too.
All right, so I have April Ann with no E, Cadell.
No, there's an E.
All right, so Mr. Bruggeman, Ms. Cadell is saying her middle name does have an E at the end. So we're gonna need to amend the paperwork. So this is the date and time set for paternity arraignment, I believe. So I have Mark Bruggeman appearing on behalf of the Lenawee County Prosecutor's Office. Mr. Bruggeman, you may proceed.
Your Honor, this is the date and time set for Mr. Shear's paternity arraignment. At this point, he can have one of two options. He can request genetic testing, in which case your office would sign an order for a DNA test, or he could acknowledge being the father of the minor child by way of sworn testimony indicating that he would sign the affidavit of parentage upon presentation.
So, Mr. Shears, you have those two options. Would you, one, like to request a DNA test, or two, acknowledge paternity of the child?
Request a DNA test.
Okay, all right, so we will put that in. Mr. Bruggeman, you'll be able to accommodate that at the jail?
Yes, we had a separate case for Mr. Shears, and I can't remember how long he's incarcerated for, or is he on? Is there a potential for bail? We just want to make sure we know where he's going to be at.
I'll be here.
Okay, all right, so Mr. Shears and Ms. Cadell, Mr. Bruggeman's office will reach out to both of you to have a DNA test done. And once we receive the results for that, we'll be back, okay? All right, thank you both very much. Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Shears. Thank you, Ms. Cadell. This is in the matter of Kimberly Renee Lintz versus William John Thomas. Both parties are present via Zoom. This is the date and time scheduled for a motion for entry of a judgment of paternity and support. And marking that both parties appeared. Well, I'll start with Miss Lentz. Did you receive a copy of the proposed judgment of paternity and support?
I'm assuming that's all the paperwork stating, court date and everything, yeah.
Well, it also dealt with custody, child support, parenting time. Did you receive that?
Yeah.
Okay, so ma'am, this proposed judgment grants you sole physical custody, joint custody, legal custody with Mr. Thomas, and parenting time at all times agreeable, and orders Mr. Thomas to pay you $347 a month in child support. Do you disagree with any of those terms?
No.
No? Okay. So Mr. Thomas, did you also receive a copy of the judgment of paternity and support?
Yes, ma'am.
And you were able to read through it?
Yes, ma'am.
All right. And this, as I said, grants her sole physical custody and the two of you joint legal. Parenting time is at all times agreeable and child support at $347 a month. Do you agree with all those terms?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. All right, so I will mark the box that at the time of the entry of judgment, neither party has disputed the custody order requested, and that will be put into effect. So going forward for both of you, it's important that you keep your address updated in writing with the friend of the court at all times. If you change employment, you must immediately notify your friend of the court enforcement officer of your new employment. If it takes a while to set up income withholding, you will be required to make your payments yourself directly in person here, or you can make them online. Do you have any questions, Mr. Thomas?
No, ma'am, I do not.
And Miss Lentz, do you have any questions?
Just how would I go about receiving those payments?
Well, you've already gone.
Oh, I'm sorry.
It's okay. So ma'am,
I was gonna tell her that the court should give her a debit card of some sort that they go on, correct?
Mr. Brugman?
That's an answer for friend of the court. I really don't know how the.
So, yeah, a lot of times it'll go on a card or gets deposited into your account, ma'am. Your enforcement worker is Michelle Senkowitz. So feel free to stop in and talk to her. But ma'am, when you went through friend of the court and, well, you guys did a calculation of child support, so it'll get set up. So Mr. Thomas, from now on,
yes,
every paycheck you get, if you don't have it taken out, you need to come and pay it in person or pay it online at the MISDU, okay?
But no problem at all. And I am familiar with child support a little bit. There is a card called a Waze card, and that's, I believe, what the state uses to put child support on.
You know, I gotta be honest with you, I should know this, but I don't. So I'm assuming that's how it's done. Miss Lentz, you'll receive something in the mail, okay?
All right.
I guess that's one part of this I've never actually asked about, but I will go ask about it today. So thank you, Mr. Thomas. Thank you, Miss Lentz.
No problem.
Yep. Bye-bye. In the matter of Misha Gunter versus Joseph Fletcher, this is a date time set for a motion for entry of order. They were mailed out on September 16th to both of the parties. Neither party has appeared today. Nobody's in my Zoom waiting room. So I'm going to mark the box that both parties failed to appear. Mr. Bruggeman, they failed to appear, so to object. So the judgment of paternity and support order will be signed and entered today. Anything else, Mr. Bruggeman?
No, Your Honor. Thank you.